There's a line from Chesterton that runs more or less, and I'm quoting from memory, that men fear libel because it's not true, but they fear satire because it is true. Again, that's from memory, and it's years since I read it. And if someone wants to correct it, and give the exact quote, feel free. But with that in mind, let's have a look at this. Now, before we go on, I want to make it plain I'm not really interested in satirizing the particular individual this is concerned with anymore, dealing with any more of his stuff. It's playing the way I approach it isn't having an impact, and I'm too wordy and academic about it. But this, well, these little 20-second skits on this channel, which are having a rather stronger impact and having a bigger sort of impact than I ever had at highlighting the silliness of online racism and unsupported assertions and stupid assertions about generalizations about entire ethnic groups and so forth. This particular one, I went to bed last night and thought, well, the guy's using Alf Garner. Alf does tend to pull quite a lot of views if you stick him into something because people are familiar with Alf. And I came back and found it has a ridiculous number of views this morning. Let's have a quick listen. It's currently sitting on just under 5,000 views. I can't imagine if you are somebody who likes to sit there and make material that sort of goes on about people having different brain sizes based on race, etc., that you're going to be loving that, because that continues to grow. It's not going to look good, and it's going to make you look like a bit of a clown. Not that I'm very sad about that, because contentions like that are rather clownish and aren't based on anything but pseudo science derived from race realist nonsense. And it's quite nice to see someone knocking it down. Now, some of these videos have, for this person running this channel, been more successful than others, I see. The algorithm for YouTube is always a bizarre thing. I think it's some mystic sort of weirdness that it's hard to understand what will not gain you views. I've made videos where I thought, oh, I'll get 2 views, and it's got several hundred or a couple of thousand. But that seems to be growing and growing, and good luck with it. Now, I could see the person it is addressing probably losing his rag in a bit and getting quite grumpy, and he may well succeed in removing it, but it's made its point. It's using the words of the person who created these arguments against them. If you talk about people like that and you base your whole view of the world on that and try and monetize it, don't think that people won't respond. Don't expect them not to, because you're punching down all the time, to use a modern expression. I don't always love that expression, but in this one case, I think it's actually very accurate. You're punching down in a very childish, bullying way to people because you know you can do it safe behind a screen. Now, Alf Garnett there, of course, was created as a caricature of the typical idiotic racist you would meet in the East End. And there were plenty of them like that. I grew up in the East End, and there were plenty of guys like Alf. And unfortunately, of course, people didn't always get the joke. They thought Alf was a heroic character, or his whole stick that he was going on about, they thought he was actually talking sense. No, Alf isn't talking sense. He's talking absolute bollocks, because he tries to put people in little boxes and put wedges between them instead of treating them as human beings. The show is a bit dated itself and has some issues if you showed it today, even though it's parody, which would be problematic, especially the infamous bits with Spike Milligan coating his face in browning up in what might be considered Asian blackface to parody particular racist attitudes. That one doesn't work so well, but this works marvelously, and I'm hoping the numbers on that last video keep growing. I'm at a point where it's tiresome to keep going on about this guy or doing him at length. It's not possible to deconstruct someone academically really very easily on YouTube. This kind of quick satirical jab tends to work a lot better, and the person doing it is having a lot more success, I think, at it.